So many of us believe that some emotions are negative, when in fact, emotions are neither bad nor good. I had always believed that anger was sinful and there was no place for it in my life. I've learned that we can actually use anger and make it work for us instead of letting it destroy us. For a number of years, I allowed myself to be used and abused. It became very clear to me that my abuser's promises were lies, and I thought after I was destroyed, there was no place for me to go, and Jonas would divorce me if he knew the truth. Life, as I knew it, would be over for me. I was done being abused and I'd had enough. I was angry, and for the first time in my life, I could actually identify the emotion of anger. Anger can work well for you when you've had enough. It's an emotion God created in us in order to survive pain. I felt anger rise inside of me as I saw the truth about my abuse and what I allowed myself to engage in, which after 6 long years amounted to nothing except pain for me. When I started to think about what my abuser did to me and what he took from me, I decided I would tell him, I'm done. My anger in that moment was full-blown, and nothing could change the decision I made to leave him. I was determined to move forward, and nothing could stop me. He sat across from me at the table in the restaurant, and I told him directly and with great confidence, I'm done. It was the anger in me that rose up and worked for me that day. Even though his response was laughter, I told him, I will live my life without you. I can and I will. That moment of anger was fulfilled and complete, and anger served me well that day. That anger led me to a self-confession that I could finally live without him. Unless you've experienced abuse, it's hard to understand the power of an abuser. Up until that point, anger was my master, and it dominated me. I was a silent victim. When you're angry, you always feel like a victim. That day, anger was my friend and helped me to escape. I drove home from that encounter feeling like I had overcome and slain my very own giant. Anger. Is it working for you or against you? It may be a question that you've never asked yourself. Years ago, I couldn't admit I was angry because my mom taught us we weren't allowed to be angry. I held on to that belief from my upbringing and learned to suppress anger for years. Instead of using the word angry, I would always just say, I'm hurt. I was afraid to admit I was angry about anything. You know, we only use about 3 words to describe how we feel when there are actually hundreds of feeling words. Ladies, God can handle our anger. He created us with the emotion. It's in our DNA. We need to learn how to make it work for us. I've known women who have never experienced any emotion in life other than anger. During my healing process, I was with my counselor literally spewing for hours. He finally said, Anne, you're very angry and depressed. I was surprised. I was shocked. I'm not angry. I couldn't believe he would say I'm angry and depressed, and began to cry uncontrollably, thinking maybe he was onto something. Maybe I was angry, and if I was, what now? I still believed I wasn't allowed to feel angry. So now I was in real trouble. I'm angry? Really? Well, of course, over time, I realized he was right, and it was a relief to be okay with being angry. My life and dreams were shattered, and many of you may know what this feels like. When our dreams are shattered and our lives are out of control, anger is what we feel. Oh, I know we would rather use the word frustrated, upset, or I just can't deal. These are acceptable words to use and may be easier than admitting you're angry. Admitting anger may not feel spiritual, but identifying it is a healthy step toward healing. When it becomes uncontrolled and unmanageable, it has devastating effects and complicates your life. At one point in my life, I was so angry, but I didn't even know who I was angry at. It's called misdirected anger. The pain of my abuse was so deep, I didn't know I was still angry at my abuser. I should have been angry at him, but I ended up blaming all the wrong people. And I was angry at God, Jonas, myself, and the list got longer over time. Our anger will be a destructive force unless we can find a way to make it our servant. Let it work for you instead of working against you. One of the first steps towards doing this is identifying the source of your anger. And often, telling our story begins to help us see who we're angry with. Don't be surprised as you share your story when new thoughts come into your mind and you begin to feel anger, which has been suppressed for a very long time. Remember, feeling anger is not all bad, contrary to what many people believe. Let anger work for you instead of against you, and may it serve you well.